Hey guys. So today, I mean, I guess you can see from the title, but I'm going to be training my horse, doing some daily chores while reading Reddit. So I'm just gonna get started, I guess, with the first story. This one's title is Am I in the Wrong for Completely Ghosting My Partner of 4 years After I Found Out He Saw His Ex? This one sounds juicy. I haven't read this yet, so we'll see. My partner, 27 male, and me, 24 female, have been together for over 4 years and have known each other for almost 6. I met him through mutual friends at a party in summer of 2018. Only in 2020 did we see each other again at another friend's event and began dating. Our relationship started quite rocky, as after about a year together, I went through his phone and found him speaking to some girls, including his ex. He swore it was nothing serious and that he was just insecure. We broke up for a month, but after constant attempts to get me back, I set strict boundaries and got back together with him, as I felt I could give him a second chance without it impacting our relationship and causing insecurities upon me. It seemed as though I was right, as we have never had any issues since then, and I honestly look at him like a best friend, lover, and soulmate all in one. We don't go through each other's phones anymore, as I know that that can be toxic. But we are open and honest and have each other's passwords for all social media slash laptops slash phones in case we have any doubt. We also share locations, but this has always been the case in our relationship. I trust him, but I know his ex, 27 female, went through a lot of mental distress when they broke up, and also when she found out he was in a new relationship with me. His ex did a lot of irrational things like drive around his area to try to see him, stalked me on all socials, got people to stalk me for her when I would block her. She even followed me around his area, then blocked me in with her car when I eventually pulled over after 15 minutes of her tailing me, demanding we speak, as she couldn't understand why he had left her and moved on with me. This is just a small amount of things she has done. Trust me, the list goes on, and some might say gets worse. Okay, pause. This is insane. Who does this? This girl, this ex-girlfriend sounds psychotic. What? That is crazy. Anyway, for context, he was her first boyfriend and they were together since the age of 18. My partner said he was never that into her, but did have a lot of respect and love for her at the time they were together. They were always on and off, as he said, they just didn't mix together well. I know all of this because I started to ask questions when she started causing problems in my life, and eventually asked him to tell me all the history of their relationship. After this conversation, I made it clear that she clearly had an attachment to him still, and that I would not be happy if they communicated at all. He had been in contact with her previously because often she would threaten to take drastic actions upon herself if my partner didn't answer his call slash text and he felt stuck. He agreed with my boundaries and I believed he was sticking to them. In the last 2 or so years, the behavior from her has calmed down, and she didn't seem to be a prevalent issue in our relationship anymore, and was never really brought up. Now I bring you to the last 2 weeks of our relationship. My partner recently lost an auntie who he was very close to, as they weren't far apart in age. She was only 29 and suddenly passed away, which was a shock for everyone. This happened in mid January, but due to autopsies, etc., she only got buried 2 weeks ago. I was not too close to her as she lives in a different city, but I had met her a few times at my partner's family events. My partner told me there was no need to attend her funeral as he knows I suffer with anxiety around funerals due to past trauma. I am now questioning if he genuinely had my best interest at heart after finding out he went with his ex. I found this out through a cousin that was at the funeral that hates his ex and is close with me. She messaged me saying, "What the heck is my ex's name doing here?" And I was genuinely shocked as he had not mentioned this to me. Me and his cousin continued to communicate, and she told me they had came and left together in his car. Okay, immediately red flags. Like, bro, what is this? This is not sitting right with me. This is crazy. My heart instantly sunk and I felt betrayed. I acted like everything was normal for 2 days, then I blocked him on everything. Packed up all the stuff he had at my place and dropped it off on his doorstep in the middle of the night so he wouldn't realize till he woke up. I gave him no explanation and told my family and friends that when he contacts them, as I knew he would, to just ignore him or say they're not aware of anything. He has contacted my mom, brother, and friends multiple times over the past 2 weeks asking what had happened and saying he's going crazy. He's turned up to my house 6 times as I have Ring doorbell and have seen this, but I have been staying with a friend as I also knew he would do this. His family have also been contacting me, saying that he hasn't been going to work due to the stress of not knowing what's happened, but I've just ignored them. I feel like my boundaries were crossed, and that he could be doing more things behind my back that I'm not aware of. I find it gut-wrenching that he didn't tell me, and honestly, right now, want nothing more to do with him. Most of my family are telling me that I at least owe him a conversation, but my friends are sticking by my side and saying that what I did is justified. So am I in the wrong here? Um, well, that's a lot to unpack, honestly. Um, I think the way this is not the best way to go about things per se, but at the same time, I kind of agree with you, but I guess I don't agree with the way things were handled. I think things could have been handled better on your part, because I mean, we don't know the context. There's not enough information to really gauge if, I mean, we don't know why they were driving together or why he wouldn't tell you. We just there's so many unknowns, and I feel it would have been better to maybe have a conversation about it first before just completely cutting him off and not giving answers. Because he's probably, I mean, it says he's very confused and stressed about it, which I mean, honestly, like, he does kind of sound like a red flag, but especially not telling you. That's kind of crazy, especially because you set boundaries with that earlier. Like, you made sure to definitively say, I don't want you in contact with your ex. And so the fact that he wouldn't tell you is just big red flag behavior. So I don't completely disagree, but I don't completely agree either. I think some communication could have gone a long way, but by all means, you don't have to stay with him or try to mend things. I definitely would not. But yeah, I don't know. I think things could have been resolved in a better way for that one. I'm gonna move on to the next story, which is, am I in the wrong for not accepting my mother-in-law's gift? Ooh, let's see, I guess. From outward appearance, I am sure that I appear entitled. I know people will form an opinion based off that, and there's not much I can do to change it. But if you can find it in you to believe me, I assure you I'm not an entitled person, and I genuinely appreciate most everything. However, my mother-in-law is just starting to piss me off. So, to the point, my mother-in-law is a hoarder. Oh. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna see where this is going. But, oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh, here. I'm so sorry, I lost my spot. Okay, my mother-in-law is a hoarder, but not in the way most people would assume. Her house is well kept and uncluttered. But the reason for this is that she literally pawns stuff off on people under the guise of a gift and always gives a firm, you better not ever throw this away talk. This goes from literal broken and unusable furniture to unnecessary items like a 50-pack of table runners. I've told this woman several times to stop bringing stuff to my home. My husband has also told her to stop bringing stuff here. Even when she gets a firm no, she will bring it here anyways, tell us to suck it up and accept gifts. So she traveled this past week and calls my husband on the way home, saying she has a surprise for us. He tells her point blank he doesn't want any more useless junk, and that from now on everything is hitting the trash can. She tells him to stop being dramatic, and this time it's not useless. She comes by and dramatically makes a point to tell me and my husband to wash our hands thoroughly while holding two small boxes. My husband opens his box, and it is a water-stained book on how to play violin. Oh, he then hands me my gift, and it is a $5 set of used tarnished Walmart earrings. Tag still on. She's grinning from ear to ear and telling us that she hit a vintage garage sale on the way home and just knew we would love this stuff. I don't even have my ears pierced. My husband's not play violin or ever expressed an interest. I told her thanks, but she can keep the items. She's extremely offended and asked why, saying that these items were nice and vintage. I said they absolutely were not. These were used and disgusting Walmart earrings that were tarnished, and the book was so waterlogged that the pages were sticking together. She grabbed both boxes and leaves after calling us ungrateful. Well, her sister is texting my husband, saying that we are entitled and inconsiderate because my mother-in-law thought of us when she didn't have to, and because she's on a fixed income and barely has money to spend, we should have graciously accepted the items. My husband has been super pissed since she started texting and currently isn't speaking to me or anyone else. The one thing he did say was that I should have just accepted the stuff and tossed it away later. But this woman literally stops by at random twice a week and asks to see the stuff she gives us, probably to make sure we haven't tossed it. And frankly, I'm done accepting trash. Am I in the wrong? Okay. I'm sorry, that was kind of funny. But no, you're not in the wrong. Of course not. Um, I don't I'd like to give the mother-in-law some credit, but it's just strange to me. Like, why would she it's strange that she would give you stuff she knows you didn't ask for, want, or need, and then expect you not to throw it out or give it away. She expects you to keep it. That's kind of strange to me. And the fact that she comes by to make sure you haven't thrown it away, that sounds like I don't I don't even know what would cause someone to do something like this. I there's something probably I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but there might be something mentally going on. I'm not sure, but no. I honestly, what I would do, this probably, I don't know if this is the best way to do things, but I probably would just accept the stuff, pretend to like it, and then, I mean, get rid of it. But I guess if she comes by and is like, "Oh, where is it?" I guess there's no real excuse. So I'm not even sure how I would handle this. This is interesting. But no. Yeah, just don't accept you're not you're not rude for not accepting these gifts in my opinion. Like this is this is interesting. This is kind of crazy. No. You shouldn't well, I mean, yeah, the part that says her husband says she should have just accepted it and then tossed it away later. That's like what I said. But if it says she literally comes by and asks to see this stuff, like what? You there's no way around it at that point. So, yeah. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with what you did, and as long as you're being not being like rude about it, it's honestly I see no problems. I see no issues here. Okay. The next story is, am I in the wrong for just wanting to play a video game the way I enjoy it? This one's kind of short. This one says, my boyfriend and I started playing a video game, just a generic survival. We built a house. I then went off and built my own house. He came over and started building onto it and changing things like immediately. I said, please don't do that. A couple hours later, he's still doing it. I eventually log off. The next day, he wants me to play, and I log on, and a bunch of stuff has changed and been torn down or built, etc., etc. And I'm like, I said, please don't do that. Like, and he calls me selfish because it's a multiplayer game, and the things I'm not okay with is him literally destroying part of the mountain my house is built on because he needed to see if a thing worked and needed the space. The mountain? I just want to play it how I want to play it, and I'm being called selfish for doing so. Thank you. This is so dumb. I just want to know if I'm being unreasonable. No. Bro, what? What is this boyfriend? I need the space. If this is Minecraft, which I mean, it sounds like it is, but if this is Minecraft, there's literally so much space. Why do you need to encroach upon your girlfriend's building buildings and building stuff? Like, I don't that's that's very interesting that he would do that. That's like it's a freaking game, bro. If you want to build a house and you say, "Hey, I don't want you to change this. I want this the way it is." He should respect that and leave it alone. Like, that's just basic respect for each other. And it's a game. Like, you can, if you don't like the way, if he didn't like the way your buildings looked or something, he doesn't have to play on that world. He can just go build his own world and make it look exactly how he wants it to. I don't know what the issue here is. Honestly, yeah, that does not, if you, the main point, I think, is if you say, don't do something, please, he just shouldn't do it. Period. Full stop. So the fact that he keeps going, it's almost like he's trying to control it. I don't know. Anyways, I don't think you're being unreasonable at all. The only person being unreasonable in that story is your boyfriend. Okay, I have one more story. This one, okay. I, 18 female, have been seeing a guy, 21 male, for 9 months, and he says he loves me but never asked me to be his girlfriend. Would I be in the wrong if I disappear from his life? Okay, first of all, English isn't my first language, so I'm sorry if there are any grammar mistakes. This might be a bit long, so please bear with me. I'm posting here because I really need some outside perspective about a situation that has been confusing me for a long time. When I was 18, I met a guy, B, 21, through mutual friends. They kind of set us up. From the very beginning, we behaved as if we were already in a relationship. We spent a lot of time together, slept at each other's houses, and treated each other like boyfriend and girlfriend. Looking back, I think my first mistake was allowing that dynamic without actually having a conversation about what we were. About 2 months after we met, an old situationship of mine, L, 26, messaged me. B has this habit of grabbing my phone and going through it as if it were his own. Um, red flag. Immediately, like, well, why are we doing this? let's continue, though. He saw the messages and got very upset that I hadn't told him about them. We talked about it and moved on, but he said I should show him things like that. At that point, things between us were already very intense. He had already said that he loved me and talked about the future. He would say things like he wanted to marry me and have 5 kids with me someday. B made some things to me that made me. Oh, no. What? B said some things to me that made me upset. So since technically B and I weren't actually in a relationship and I was still upset, I unblocked L. I didn't text him at first, but he noticed and messaged me. We talked briefly just to catch up about life. There was nothing flirty in the conversation. Later, I blocked him again because he started insisting on seeing me and talking about us, which I didn't want. He even sent me an SMS after that. I thought it was funny and sent a screenshot to my friend's group chat joking about how persistent he was. A few days later, B grabbed my phone again while we were together and went through it. He saw the screenshot and got really angry because I hadn't told him about it. He left my house and didn't talk to me for almost 3 days. When he came back, he gave me a long lecture and said something that stuck with me. This is the kind of behavior that makes me not want to ask you to be my girlfriend. Ooh. Ooh, pause. What? That's a crazy thing to say. Um, he's acting like it's her fault. Okay, anyways. Okay, I need to just read the rest. That felt unfair to me because we weren't actually in a real relationship. Exactly. That's really. Hmm. Time passed and we kept seeing each other. Months went by and he never asked me to be his girlfriend. He also never introduced me to his parents and always had some excuse. In the beginning, he was very present, but over time, he started disappearing more and more. After about 6 months, I started to panic because we had been together for so long and still nothing was official. I tried to end things because I wanted a real relationship. He told me he didn't want to date me and that he had thought about asking me to be his girlfriend. Oh, I'm so sorry. I read that wrong. He told me he did want to date me and that he had thought about asking me to be his girlfriend. I think I confused thinking about it with actually planning to do it. Months passed again and nothing changed. Around the 9th month, I gave him an ultimatum and decided I wouldn't keep acting as if I were in a committed relationship. I stopped being exclusive and started seeing other people. One of those people was L. We have fun together, but I know he's not someone I want to build a serious relationship with. I'm still completely in love with B. Every time I see him, it feels like every cell in my body lights up. But at the same time, he has disappointed me many times and left me hanging. My friends tell me to block him and move on. I've tried. I block him, delete his number and our pictures, but eventually I undo it. When I remove the possibility of contacting him, I feel this suffocating feeling like I'm lost. It's as if I need to know that there's at least a chance he could answer me someday. All I really want is one honest conversation where he explains why he spent months saying things like, I love you, I want to marry you, I want 5 kids with you, and I only want you, but never actually asked me to be his girlfriend. I don't know how to move on from something that never really became a relationship. What would you do? Wow, this sounds very messy. I don't know what is up with this guy, honestly. Um, the fact that he thinks he can go through your phone and expect you to be exclusive to him and um like have um like tell him about the other people you're talking to without even being in a relationship is kind of crazy to me. It sounds like you're both, I mean, if you're both acting like boyfriend and girlfriend, what is stopping him from asking you? And I don't think that that habit mentioned in the beginning, he has this habit of grabbing your phone and going through it is like that is very like boundary crossing, I feel like. Like you shouldn't just do that. You, nobody just does that, especially to somebody who isn't their girlfriend. And these things that he's saying to you about like your future, that's and yet he can't commit to you. And you talked about becoming more and more distant. Like, I don't know. It feels like maybe he's just has commitment issues. And I don't know if he's ready. He doesn't sound ready. And that thing he said, let me see, where is it at? Yeah, the sentence, this is the kind of behavior that makes me not want to ask you to be my girlfriend. Like, if he really wanted you to be his girlfriend, he would he would ask you. I think it's that simple. It's like he's making excuses because he doesn't want to commit to you almost. Yeah, this is I don't know. This is just messy. I would she asked what would you do in my place? I would get out of there, bro. So many things about this are screaming red flag. And I mean, it'd probably be hard if I mean, you say you love him, you're in love with him, but it's only been, let's see, 9 months? Yeah, she's been seeing him for 9 months. 9 months is pretty long time. And if he still can't ask you to be his girlfriend, I don't, will he ever? That's the question. I think I would just, yeah, I would get out of there. That's red flag behavior. And yeah, I would just break up. Well, break up. You're not even in a relationship with him. Yeah. No, you don't just get out. That's what I would do. It'll be hard, but there are other fish in the sea, and I'm sure there's a much better fish than him. All right. That was the last story that I had. If you watched this all the way through, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And if you have any stories you want me to read or any video ideas, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to do them. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye.